You think you know your cat, right? You give him food, a cozy spot to sleep, a few scratches behind the ears. But what if I told you that most of the ways we humans show love, they mean absolutely nothing to our cats? Today, we're going to reframe our entire understanding of cat behavior. This isn't just about cute quirks. It's about a complex language that, believe it or not, you can learn to speak. So, let me just ask you straight up. Do you really speak cat? Yeah, you might be an expert in their dinner schedule or which toy is their favorite, but there's this huge communication gap between even the most dedicated owners and their cats. The thing is, they're talking to us constantly. The real question is, are we even listening? Okay, let's break this down. On one side, you've got our go-to moves for affection. Big hugs, direct eye contact, maybe some of that embarrassing baby talk we all do. But then, you look at how a cat shows affection. It's a slow, deliberate blink from across the room. Or it's just sharing the same space without ever needing to touch. This difference right here, this is why we so often get it completely wrong. So here's our lesson plan for today. We're going to start with that communication gap, then we'll learn to decode their body language and the language of scent. We'll get into why the hunt is so important, learn how to actually speak back to them, and we'll wrap up with the ultimate sign of feline trust. So, what is the core misunderstanding? Well, according to animal behaviorist John Bradshaw, it's this. Cats never really domesticated in a way that made them develop special behaviors just for us humans. In their mind, you are not their owner. You're just a really big, kind of clumsy, and thankfully a non-hostile cat. They see you as one of them, and that idea changes everything. All right, let's start our translation guide right there with their body language. A cat's posture, their eyes, their little movements, it's a constant stream of information that most of us are just completely missing. First up, the slow blink. This is not your cat just being sleepy. Nope. Researchers actually call this the cat kiss, and it is a totally intentional signal. It's their way of saying, I trust you. I feel safe with you. Because think about it. In the wild, closing your eyes in front of another creature is a huge risk. I mean, really think about what's happening. When a cat feels any tension, their first instinct is to bolt. But instead, they sometimes choose to stay, look right at you, and deliberately close their eyes. For a predator to choose to go momentarily blind in front of something so much larger than them, it's a calculated emotional risk. They're actively trying to say, hey, we're cool. You ever notice how your cat does that big, long stretch the second you walk into a room? Well, that's not about them having tight muscles. Researchers call this the social stretch. It's a greeting, a social behavior that's triggered specifically by your presence. They're not just limbering up, they're literally saying, hello, you. And then we have the belly roll. Oh man, this is probably the most misunderstood signal of all. When a cat flops over and shows you their stomach, they are showing you the ultimate sign of trust. They're exposing their most vital organs. It is not an invitation for a belly rub. In fact, when you go for it, you can cause what scientists call petting-induced overstimulation, and it can feel like a complete betrayal of the trust they just offered you. Okay, now let's dive into a world we can barely even comprehend. Scent. A cat's sense of smell is about 14 times stronger than ours. They use it to communicate in these incredibly complex ways. And to them, your scent is one of the most important, most comforting things in their world. See, cats have these scent glands packed into key spots. Their cheeks, their forehead, their chin, even between their little paw pads. So when they rub their face on you, or they're needing a blanket, that's not just them being cute. They are actively marking you and their territory with their pheromones, basically saying, this is safe, this is mine, this is family. And this leads to this amazing behavior called scent blending. Picture this. You get up from your favorite chair, right? You leave your human scent behind. Your cat immediately hops up and takes your spot. As they settle in, they're depositing their scent right on top of yours. The scents merge, creating this shared colony scent. It reinforces the idea that you both belong to the same group. Okay, let's talk about play. Because for a cat, play isn't just about having fun. It's about satisfying a deep, primal instinct. And honestly, the way most of us play with our cats is just frustrating for them. You're getting their prey drive all fired up, but you're never letting them actually finish the job. A cat's brain is hardwired to follow this exact sequence: stalk, chase, pounce, catch, kill, and finally, eat. The problem is, most of us only do the chase part. The absolute key is to let them win. Let them physically catch and kill that toy. And then follow it up with a small treat to simulate the meal. That completes the cycle.
and that is what gives them real satisfaction.
So look at the difference here. Bad play is erratic. It's way too fast, and it never ends with a satisfying catch. It just leaves your cat worked up and unfulfilled. But good play? That mimics real prey. It's slow, it hides, it pauses, and most importantly, it lets your cat win. That victory is what releases dopamine and builds their confidence.
So, now that we're starting to understand them, how do we talk back? This is where we get into the practical stuff. A few simple techniques to communicate in a language your cat was literally born to understand.
It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. A 2022 study actually found that cats respond specifically to their owner's cat-directed speech. You know, that soft, high-pitched tone we all use without even thinking about it. Over time, that specific sound becomes a vocal signal for "you're safe," a sound they associate only with you.
Here's a simple habit that is a total game changer. Stop just reaching down and petting your cat. Instead, offer a single, extended finger a few inches from their nose. This is the human version of a polite nose-to-nose cat greeting. Think of it like a handshake. It lets them approach, sniff you out, and give you the green light before you touch them.
I mean, try to see life from their perspective for a second. We're these towering giants. Just by sitting on the floor, you completely change that dynamic. You're not looming over them anymore, you're inviting them into your space on their level. Behaviorists call this parallel presence, just existing together. And for a cat, that's a powerful form of intimacy.
And this brings us full circle. When your cat gives you that cat kiss, give it right back. A study from the University of Sussex confirmed it. Cats are way more likely to approach a person who slow blinks at them. It's a tiny 2-second gesture that says, "I get it, I trust you, and you can trust me."
All of this, it builds towards the final, and I think the most profound expression of the bond you can have with your cat. It's something so quiet and common that most of us don't realize the true weight of what's happening. Just consider the simple act of sleeping. For any animal, but especially for a predator who could also be prey, sleep is their most dangerous state. Their guard is completely down. If all they wanted was warmth, they'd find a sunbeam or a radiator. Choosing to sleep on or near you is not about temperature.
This is it. This is the ultimate expression of trust. They are choosing you over their own deep-seated survival instincts. Research has actually shown that cats form secure attachment bonds with us, the same kind of bonds human babies form with their parents. When your cat curls up and falls asleep on you, they're telling you on a fundamental biological level that you are the safest place in their entire world.
Every stretch, every blink, every quiet moment you just share a room together, it's a word, a sentence in a language that you can now start to understand. Your cat has been talking to you this whole time. The only question left is, are you finally ready to listen?